सियावर रामचंद्र जी की जय। शरणम शंकर हरिओ। ऋतुषा ऋतु रघुपति भवती, तुलसी शाली सुदास, नाम सुप्रेम पीयूष हर। श्रावण भादो मास, सियावर रामचंद्र जी की जय। शरणम। So today's bhajan, a very strange one indeed. When I was reading the Ramayana some years ago, I discovered that Sarvan Kumar was shot by King Dashrath. This beautiful bhajan tells us, Sravan bhakt ki गाता काया है संतों की वाणी, माता पिता के चरणों के नौछावर के जिंदगान। श्रवण भक्त की गाता काया है संतों की वाणी, माता पिता के चरणों के नौछावर के जिंदगान। विधि को किसने बदले क्यों राजन बतताई, भूल मनुज से होती काहे नीरबाए। माता पिता है प्यासी में पानी कौन पहलाए, काशी पुनी गंगा में राजन भर पहुँचा तो पानी, माता पिता के चरणों के नौछावर के जिंदगानी। श्रवण भक्त की गाता काया है संतों की वाणी, माता पिता के चरणों के नौछावर के जिंदगानी। इधर चले राजा जल भर के, श्रवण चोरी काया। आहत सुन राजा की समझे, बेटा जल भर लाया। चुप है क्यों तू आज लाज ले, बड़ी देर से आया। क्या बोले क्या ना बोले पर बात परी बदलानी, माता पिता के चरणों के नौछावर के जिंदगानी। श्रवण भक्त की गाता काया है संतों की वाणी, माता पिता के चरणों के नौछावर के जिंदगानी। शीत उठे दोनों के दोनों कांपे धरती अंबर, पंखहीन पंछी से सर पे कांपे क्रोध से थर थर। कही हमारा श्रवण लाडला, जल्दी चल तू लेकर। छीन ले क्यों अंधे की लात, बोल बोल अज्ञानी। माता पिता के चरणों के नौछावर के जिंदगानी। श्रवण भक्त की गाता काया है संतों की वाणी, माता पिता के चरणों के नौछावर के। गले लगा सरवन के काया, काया करने लगे विलाप। मरोगे बेटा बेटा करके, दिया है उनको श्राप। अर सोच रहे दशरथ जी मन में, कैसे जागे पाप। छोड़ गई दुनिया से दूर, बन गई अमर कहानी। माता पिता के चरणों के नौछावर के जिंदगानी। श्रवण भक्ति की गाथा गाया है संतों की वाणी। माता पिता के चरणों के नौछावर के जिंदगानी। माता पिता के चरणों के नौछावर के जिंदगानी। राम नाम की डोर में देखो बंधे रहो दिन रैन। करो कृपा श्री राम जी, सदा राम दिन रैन। भजो दशरथ राज कुमार, भजो दशरथ राज कुमार। जिनको महिमा अपरंपार, कोई पार नहीं पाया। भजो दशरथ राज कुमार, भजो दशरथ राज कुमार। जिनको महिमा अपरंपार, कोई पार नहीं पाया। सतयुग में राजा मंजू को तब से किए पुकारा। पूर्ण कला के दर्शन पाया, पूर्ण कला के दर्शन पाया। सतरूपा मुनि प्यारा, त्रेता युग लिए दशरथ गृह में। त्रेता युग लिए दशरथ गृह में। धर्म के अवतार जिनको महिमा अपरंपार, कोई पार नहीं पाया। भजो दशरथ राज कुमार, भजो दशरथ राज कुमार। उनकर बतलक सकी न कोई, सकती अकस अपाया। बन बन में नंगे पर जाके, बन बन में नंगे पर जाके। भगतों का उबारा, सेत मांग सीता हर लाए। सेत मांग सीता हर लाए। रावण तुल को मार, जिनको महिमा अपरंपार, कोई पार नहीं पाया। भजो दशरथ राज, भजो दशरथ राज। उलकर माया आज सब जग छाया, उलकर माया सब जग छाया, जैसे भनोजियारा। ऋषि मुनि योगी कभी ज्ञानी, ऋषि मुनि योगी कभी ज्ञानी, भरनत में मतिहारा। ब्रिजलाल पति की मून भजन करे, ब्रिजलाल पति की मून भजन कर, हार करी बौधार जिनको महिमा अपरंपार, कोई पार नहीं पाया। भजो दशरथ राज, भजो दशरथ राजकुमार, जिनको महिमा अपरंपार, कोई पार नहीं पाया। भजो दशरथ राजकुमार, भजो दशरथ राजकुमार।
Sitaram, everyone. Now I'm going to do this a little different this time. So you all hear me, right? Okay. Raise your hands, let me see you. Good. So we see that you all reach here, which is a good sign. Now, the other thing is that you are very fortunate. The opportunity is here. It has been created to perform service and give back thanks to God. So all we're going to ask of you to do is to join, sing, clap, and get lost in the devotion. Build back some things in your bank. Sitaram, thank you.
जगदम्बा देवी माता की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। खड़ा हो जाएं, आरती नीजिए। Let us all please stand as we join in the opening आरती। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु देवी रूपेण संस्थिता, नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। ह्रीं बटुका पटवादिन कुर्कुवटका ओम नमः शिवाय। ह्रीं बटुका पटवादिन कुर्कुवटका ओम नमः शिवाय। ह्रीं बटुका पटवादिन कुर्कुवटका ओम नमः शिवाय। जयंती काली मंगला काली भद्रकाली कपालिनी, दुर्गा क्षमा शिवा दात्री, स्वाहा स्वधा नमोऽस्तुते। ओम ऐं ऐं क्रीं चामुण्डाय विचे नमः। जगदम्बा की करो आरती, देवी माँ की करो आरती। जगदम्बा की करो आरती, जगदम्बा की करो आरती।
जगदम्बा की करो आरती, जगदम्बा की करो आरती।
आओ प्रति भारत भारत जन,
आओ प्रति भारत भारत जन,
आओ भारती प्रभा भारती।
जगदम्बा की करो आरती,
देवी माँ की करो आरती,
जगदम्बा की करो आरती।
हर नारी धरती की ताली,
हर नारी धरती की थाली,
उषा संध्या कुमकुम लाली।
उषा संध्या कुमकुम लाली।
दीप शिखा हर एक कली के,
दीप शिखा हर एक कली की,
सूरज की किरणों के वाली,
सूरज की किरणों की वाली।
आओ प्रति भारत भारत जन,
आओ प्रति भारत भारत जन,
आओ भारती प्रभा भारती,
जगदम्बा की करो आरती,
देवी माँ की करो आरती,
जगदम्बा की करो आरती।
मानस मंदिर हो जियारा,
मानस मंदिर हो जियारा,
मानव की मानव हो प्यारा,
मानव की मानव हो प्यारा।
सब सुख आए सब दुख जाए,
सब सुख आए सब दुख जाए,
चेर सिंधु हो सागर कारा,
क्षीर सिंधु हो सागर धारा।
आओ प्रति भारत भारत जन,
आओ प्रति भारत भारत जन,
आओ भारती प्रभा भारती,
जगदम्बा की करो आरती,
देवी माँ की करो आरती,
जगदम्बा की करो आरती।
शांति रना पर शांति गगन में,
शांति धरा पर शांति गगन में,
शांति विराजे मन, शांति विराजे मानव मन में, अंतरिक्ष में शांति सनातन,
अंतरिक्ष में शांति सनातन,
शांति विराजे जग जीवन में,
शांति विराजे जग जीवन में।
आओ प्रति भारत भारत जन,
आओ प्रति भारत भारत जन,
आओ भारती प्रभा भारती,
जगदम्बा की करो आरती,
देवी माँ की करो आरती,
जगदम्बा की करो आरती,
देवी माँ की करो आरती,
जगदम्बा की करो आरती।
शांति ररा पर शांति गगन में,
शांति धरा पर शांति गगन में,
शांति विराजे मानव मन में,
शांति विराजे मानव मन में,
अंतरिक्ष में शांति सनातन,
अंतरिक्ष में शांति सनातन,
शांति विराजे जग जीवन में,
शांति विराजे जग जीवन में।
आओ प्रति भारत भारत जन,
आओ प्रति भारत भारत जन,
आओ भारती प्रभा भारती,
जगदम्बा की करो आरती,
देवी माँ की करो आरती,
जगदम्बा की करो आरती,
देवी माँ की करो आरती,
जगदम्बा की करो आरती।
सुनो मेरी देवी पर्वत वासिनी, तेरा पार न पाया, तेरा पार न पाया, बोलो
सुनो मेरी देवी पर्वत वासिनी, तेरा पार न पाया, तेरा पार न पाया।
बोलो सुनो मेरी देवी पर्वत वासिनी, तेरा पार पान सुपारी ध्वजा नारियल
पान सुपारी ध्वजा नारियल
पान सुपारी ध्वजा नारियल
पान सुपारी ध्वजा नारियल
रे तेरे बीच चराया माँ रे तेरे बीच चराया बोलो
सुनो मेरे देवी पर्वतवासिनी तेरा पार न पाया तेरा पार न पाया
माँ तेरा पार न पाया
माँ तेरा पार न पाया
देवी तेरा पार न पाया
देवी तेरा पार न पाया
दुर्गा तेरा पार न पाया
दुर्गा तेरा पार न पाया
काली तेरा पार न पाया
काली तेरा पार न पाया
शक्ति तेरा पार न पाया
शक्ति तेरा पार न पाया
अम्बा अम्बा जय जगदम्बा
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 अम्बा अम्बा
अम्बे
जय जगदम्बा
अम्बे
अम्बा
अम्बे देवी माँ अम्बे 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 शक्ति माँ ऐं ऐं क्रीं चामुण्डायै विचे 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 सुनो मेरी देवी पर्वतवासिनी तेरा पार न पाया माँ तेरा पार न पाया बोलो
सुनो मेरी देवी पर्वतवासिनी तेरा पार न पाया तेरा पार न पाया
ओ तेरा पार न पाया
माँ तेरा पार न पाया
देवी तेरा पार न पाया
देवी तेरा पार न पाया
जगदम्बा देवी माता की जय उमापति महादेव की जय सच्ची सनातन धर्म की जय Before you sit, turn to the person next to you, in front of you and behind you. Tell them, Devi bless you. Om Him Him Krim Chamundaye Viche Namah. Aim Him Krim Chamundaye Viche Namah. Let's all be seated. Aim Him Krim Chamundaye Viche Namah. My adorations, my prostrations at the lotus-like feet of Sri Pandit Satnarayan Ji and all other Brahman Devatas. Matri Devo Bhava. We pay obeisance at the lotus-like feet of all our mothers who are here with us. Pita Devo Bhava, to all our fathers who are here. To all of those who are listening to us and to all of those who are viewing us wherever you are, locally, regionally, or maybe even internationally, we say welcome to our kind and our corporate sponsors. We express sentiments of gratitude and expressions of thanks. This evening, once more, on behalf of the Bhagwan Das family, we take this opportunity to welcome you And so this evening, as we prepare our minds and our souls to listen to a beautiful katha that comes out of the depths of the Devi Bhagavad, let us all bow our heads in prayer. As we chant the mantras of Avahan, invocation, we pray to the Divine Goddess with faith, with love and with devotion. O Ma, listen to our prayer. Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvat Satike Shadanye Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostute.
सर्व मंगल मांगल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थ साधिके शरण्ये त्र्यंबके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते.
Shuklam Varanam Deva Shashivaranam Chaturbhujam Prasannavanam Nyayet Sarvavighanopashantaye Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirviganam Kurumi Deva Sarvakarishu Sarvada. Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvat Satike Shadanye Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostute.
सर्व मंगल मांगल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थ साधिके शरण्ये त्र्यंबके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते.
सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्य वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा. या पुण्ये तुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रविता या वीणावरदण्डमन्दरकरा या श्वेतपरमासना या ब्रह्माच्युतार शङ्करा प्रभृतिवे देवेशरा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निशेषजाड्यापम्. सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थ साधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते.
सर्व मंगल मांगल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थ साधिके शरण्ये त्र्यंबके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते.
वन्दे देवौमापतिं सुरगुरुं वन्दे जगत्कारणं वन्दे पन्नगभूषणं मृगवरा वन्दे पशूनापतिं वन्दे सूरसुशाङ्कराङ्गनेनं वन्दे मुकुन्दप्रियं वन्दे भक्तजनाथर कपिधर वन्दे शिवाशङ्करं. त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिवा बन्धनात् मृत्युर्मुक्ष्यमामृतात्. सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थ साधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते.
सर्व मंगल मांगल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थ साधिके शरण्ये त्र्यंबके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते.
अज्ञानं तिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञाननं शलाकया चक्षुरं मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः. गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरु विष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वर गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्मा तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः. सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थ साधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते.
सर्व मंगल मांगल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थ साधिके शरण्ये त्र्यंबके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते.
सर्वरे सर्ववरदे सर्वदुष्टभयङ्करी सर्वदुःखहरे देवी महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते. श्वेतभाण्डरे देवी नानालङ्कारभूषितनी जगत्स्तुते जगन्माता महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते. सिद्धि बुद्धि प्रदे देवी भुक्ते मुक्ते प्रदायिनी मंत्रमूर्ति सदा देवी महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते. महालक्ष्मी च विद्महे विष्णुपत्ने च धीमहि तन्नो देवी प्रचोदयात् तन्नो देवी प्रचोदयात्. सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थ साधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते.
सर्व मंगल मांगल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थ साधिके शरण्ये त्र्यंबके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते.
जगदम्बा देवी माता की जय. उमापति महादेव की जय. Now we join in the kirtan. Kirtan is the act of awakening the mind to listen to the katha. Maybe our Gyan, maybe our meditation placed you into a quiet place. This evening we want to awaken energy. This evening we want to empty the mind a little. And so we make space to listen to the katha. We empty away some of our anger, some of our hate, some of our lust, some of whatever we have fostering inside of us. And now we create a space in the mind like a dry sponge. And as a dry sponge will absorb water, so too may our mind be able to grasp and absorb the nectar out of our katha this evening. But the only way we can do this is when we join in the kirtan, when we clap and when we sing and when we make a joyful noise. There are many people who are afraid that somebody will see you when you are clapping. There are many people who are afraid that somebody might hear you when you are singing. There are many people who are afraid to get up and dance for God because you know why? You're afraid about what people will say about you. I have news for you. You don't have to do any of those things. They will still talk about you. So you might as well do something so that they'll have something to talk about. But whenever it comes to expressing yourself in devotion, you must never be ashamed. You must never be ashamed. You must never be ashamed to cry. You must never be ashamed to clap. You must never be ashamed to sing. You must never be ashamed to dance. You must never be afraid to glorify your Maker, Bhagwan. And so this evening, as we make a joyful noise unto the Devi, I want you to sing with me. I want you to clap with me. And let us eulogize Devi Mata as we sing her praises with conviction from our heart, O Devi. And so tonight, when we sing to the universal mother, I want you to remember your earthly mother. And so if she is not here physically, maybe because of death and otherwise, pray. Think of her. Remember her in that smiling, happy mood. Remember her. For she, her soul will be rejoicing because you are rejoicing in the name of Bhagavati Mata. And if your mother is alive this evening, then mentally bow to her. And maybe if she's around, and while we do the kirtan, then get up and go and give her a hug and a kiss. And tell her a little secret in her ears. I love you, mommy. I'm seeing Joey sitting next to his mother. He's going to get up in the middle of the kirtan. Godson, and you'll give your mother a hug and a kiss and tell her, I love you. I want to hear from here. Let us all sing. Let us make a joyful noise unto Bhagwan. Amba Bhavani Jagadamba Bhavani. Amba Bhavani Jagadamba Bhavani. Amba Bhavani Jagadambe Ma. Amba Bhavani Jagadambe Ma. Amba Bhavani Jagadambe Ma. Amba Bhavani Jagadambe Ma. Durga Bhavani Jagadambe Ma. Durga Bhavani Jagadambe Ma. Durga Bhavani Jagadambe Ma. Durga Bhavani Jagadambe Ma. Bolo Shakti Bhavani Jagadambe Ma. Bolo Shakti Bhavani Jagadambe Ma. Bolo Shakti Bhavani Jagadambe Ma. Amba Bhavani Jagadamba Bhavani. Amba Bhavani Jagadamba Bhavani. Amba Bhavani Jagadamba Bhavani. Amba Bhavani Jagadamba Bhavani. Amba Bhavani Jagadambe Ma. Amba Bhavani Jagadambe Ma. Amba Bhavani Jagadambe Ma. Kali Bhavani Jagadambe Ma. Kali Bhavani Jagadambe Ma. Kali Bhavani Jagadambe Ma. Kali Bhavani Jagadambe Ma. Bolo Shakti Bhavani Jagadambe Ma. Bolo Shakti Bhavani Jagadambe Ma. Bolo Devi Bhavani Jagadambe Ma. Bolo Devi Bhavani Jagadambe Ma. Amba Bhavani Jagadamba Bhavani. Amba Bhavani Jagadamba Bhavani. Amba Bhavani Jagadambe Ma. Amba Bhavani Jagadambe Ma. शारदा भवानी जगदम्बे मां
शारदा भवानी जगदम्बे मां
शारदा भवानी जगदम्बे मां
शारदा भवानी जगदम्बे मां
बोलो लक्ष्मी भवानी जगदम्बे मां
बोलो लक्ष्मी भवानी जगदम्बे मां
बोलो देवी भवानी जगदम्बे मां बोलो
देवी भवानी जगदम्बे मां
अम्बा भवानी जगदम्बा भवानी
अम्बा भवानी जगदम्बा भवानी
अम्बा भवानी जगदम्बा भवानी
अम्बा भवानी जगदम्बा भवानी
अम्बा भवानी जगदम्बे मां
अम्बा भवानी जगदम्बे मां
अम्बा भवानी जगदम्बे मां
अम्बा भवानी जगदम्बे मां
जगदम्बा देवी माता की जय उमापति महादेव की जय सच्ची सनातन धर्म की जय Tonight our katha begins to talk to us about a being whose name is Indradev. Indradev. Indradev is the god of the god who governs the Indradev. He's the god that governs the, anybody knows? He governs the heavens. Indradev, the god who governs the heavens. Who lives in heaven? Who lives in heaven? He is the god of Swarga. Swarga is a Sanskrit word that means heaven. We spoke one day about these words that are mentioned in scripture and otherwise, that though we try to use English words to explain what they mean, there are no sufficient amount of words that will be able to bring an understanding or an explanation to what these words really mean. And so that one word can have multitude meanings. And so Indradev is the king of Swarga. Swarga is the abode of the Devatas. And so we will consider God or Bhagwan to be living in the heavens. So Indradev sits on the throne and he is the god of the heavens. Where is heaven? Where is Swarga? Where is hell? Where is hell? Hello? Where is hell? Uncle Syed, where is hell, boy? Right here. Where is heaven? Right here. When are you in hell? How do you know? How would you know that you're in hell? You see trouble. How do you know you're in heaven? Then if heaven and hell is right here, Dave, then when you are seeing trouble, who is in charge of that? Then when you are having pleasure and enjoyment, who is in charge of that? Strange. We blame God for all the bad things. And when good things are happening and there is a time to celebrate, we forget that there is a God. True or not? Is that true or not? Indra, the god of the heavens, Indra is sitting on his throne. Every one of us, we're the gods of our own heaven. Do you know that? You're the god of your own heaven. And you could turn your heaven into hell anytime you choose to. You could allow your heaven to be turned into hell anytime you allow somebody to do that to you. A ship never sinks because of the water that is around it. But a ship will sink because of the water that enters into it. Isn't it? That ship will be afloat in the deep ocean. And will be able to maneuver itself through all the turbulence and the wind and the murkiness of the water. But the ship will never sink. You know why? Because the water will never get into the ship. Indradev, the god of the heavens, sitting on his throne. What kind of throne do you think Lord Indra will sit on? What kind of throne? Made of what? Do you know every single one of us unconsciously, we didn't do this consciously. When we go to the dining table to sit and eat, there is a particular chair you feel comfortable sitting by. True or not? And if you don't sit by that particular chair, you don't feel comfortable in your... True or not? When you go in the TV room there is one particular spot on the whole couch that you sit on. True or not? And you call that my spot. Move now. You know I like to sit down there. That's my spot. And you're almost sitting on the handle of the chair. 99% of the time you're almost sitting on the handle of the chair. And the way you're so sitting down on the chair, and the chair is so accustomed to you, from the time you reach by the chair make a place for you. It sinks down. There is a whole bed. The whole bed you call yours, isn't it? But there is one spot on the bed that you lie down on whole night. The only time you'll move from that spot is the day you have trouble, because you'll roll like a wave from Maracas. Huh? Thinking about your trouble. But if there is no trouble, you know what happened? You'll remain in that spot, fixed, and you'll never move from there. True or not? Is that true or not? My bed has a sink. You know the kitchen has a sink? My bed has a sink. That's when I was fatter. Now I'm thinner. I was hoping that the high density foam will get back dense, but it didn't work. Indradev, the God of the heavens. Tonight I want to tell you that if you cannot consider yourself to be important, nobody will consider you to be important. Indradev sits on the throne of the heavens. You sit as the king of your own existence. And whatever actions you perform, those actions can help you to shine, or those actions can help you to bury your head in shame. Always remember that. I listened to a blog from Satguru a few days ago, and Satguru said something that made a lot of sense. He said, you lose money, you lose something. You lose your health, you have lost something. But you lose your character and you have lost everything. It takes a man a lifetime to build a character, and it takes one idle, foolish person to open his mouth. And then we have the masses following him based on what he has said. I'm reading from the Ramayana every evening when I go home, because the next Yagna is a Ramayana Yagna. And in the Ramayana, coincidentally, when Hanumanji comes back from looking for Mother Sita, Shri Ram asks, he doesn't ask where is Mother Sita and how is she, He says, what was your experience like in Lanka? Tell me. And you know what Hanuman said? Hanuman said, while there in Lanka, I observed something, O Rama. Listen to what I observed. Shri Ram is attentive because he's thinking he's going to hear about Mother Sita. And listen to what Hanuman says. I observed that there is a deaf king ruling, blind followers. There is a deaf king ruling, blind followers. For Ravan, he has heard. Ravan, he has seen. Ravan knows with conviction that he will be destroyed by Shri Ram. But you know what? Every instruction that Ravan gave to everybody, they follow what he said. And they behave as though they are blind. And though Ravan is hearing, he is behaving as though he is deaf. Imagine the deaf king leading the blind following. What will happen? Disaster will happen, isn't it? It is a recipe for disaster. And so, Indradev sitting on his throne, Indradev suddenly, he decides that he wants to go someplace. Where will he want to go? Where will he want to go? Listen to what Indradev wants to do. Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvati Satike Shadanye Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostute.
Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvati Satike Shadanye Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostute.
Bhagavant Indra Devasya Guru Brihaspati Devata Nivasa Dhanya Guru Darshan Devata Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvati Satike Shadanye Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostute.
Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvati Satike
Guru Jante Devalna Dekar Bhagwan Indra पूजते हि पूजता देवस्य कः इन्द्र सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थिसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते
सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते.
Indradev came off his throne and Indradev was making his way to the abode of his guru, Guru Brihaspati. Guru Brihaspati is the guru of all the devatas. Guru Brihaspati. Imagine, there is one spiritual guide and he has to guide the multitude of his following. How easy you think that is? How easy you think that is? How easy you think that is? In the multitude, there are some who go there because they like devotion and singing and praying. In the multitude, there are some who go there because nice food, and in the multitude, there are the ones who go because they go look bad. In the multitude, they are the ones that will go beyond the call. Nobody has to tell, nobody has to ask, nobody has to instruct. They know what is expected of them. There are some, you have to tell them. You have to inform them formally. You have to inform formally. It's dinner, we go and eat. It's the RT bow. You have to inform, and if you don't inform, well then, they're the ones that you have to talk to every single day. Because if you don't talk to them every day, they say, well, you don't love me. Huh? Well, not me, because I can't call you every day. So if you're expecting me to call you every day, well, Narayan, Narayan, Bhajumana Narayan. If you get a phone call from me, it's precious like the missing wire that they're taking down everywhere. Precious. He decides, I'm going to visit the Guru. And making his way to the Guru, Brihaspati, he enters into the Gurukul, into the ashram of the Guru Brihaspati. And entering there, Guru Brihaspati was dressed, and Guru Brihaspati was about to leave. And so seeing, acknowledging Indra, the Guru says, oh Indradev, I wish I had more time to sit with you, but I'm leaving, I'm about to leave. And so Indradev inquired, where are you going? Have you ever had a guest to your home, and the guest comes just at that time when you're about to leave? What do you do? What will you do? Maybe you're getting dressed to come to the Yagna, and as soon as you walk out the door, somebody comes. What will you do? What will you tell them? Hello? What will you tell them? Chiki, what will you tell them? Huh? Chiki said, I'll tell them, let me go to the press. You know what the excuse will be? I have on short pants. What you'll tell them then? Borrow one of yours? But they tall and you short. What then? What next? An opportunity has been created for everybody, you know. Opportunities are always created for everybody, you know. But not everybody will grab hold of the opportunity. Do you know that? Not everybody will jump on board and grab hold of the opportunity. It tells us, it says, the Guru was about to leave. And the Guru seeing Indradev, the Guru says, oh Indra, I was about to leave. And so I'm about to leave. And Indradev inquired, where are you going? And so the Guru speaks. Listen to what he says. Manas bhajali Guru charanam dushtar bhav sagare taranam.
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 Guru Maharaj Guru Jai गुरु जय जय
गुरु महाराज गुरु जय जय
साईनाथ सद्गुरु जय जय
सत्य साईनाथ सद्गुरु जय जय
साईनाथ सद्गुरु जय जय
सत्य साईनाथ सद्गुरु जय जय
मानस भजले गुरु चरणम दुष्टर भव सागरे तरणम
मानस भजले गुरु चरणम दुष्टर भव सागर तरणम
मैं देवी मिल गया होते देखो रहते काटे देखो मरका नहीं जानते करने वाले देखो और पर्वत वासिनी जिसमें का भगवती की दर्शन होते गुरु चट्टे समी का देवता की जाप का करे रहते हैं जाप का करे रहते हैं ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः
ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः
ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः
ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः
गुरु महाराज गुरु जय जय
गुरु महाराज गुरु जय जय
ओ गुरु महाराज गुरु जय जय
गुरु महाराज गुरु जय जय
साईनाथ सद्गुरु जय जय
साईनाथ सद्गुरु जय जय
The Guru says to Indradev, he says, "Oh Indra, I'm about to visit Devi Mata. And so I'm going to this Parvat Vasini, this mountain top where the Devi lives. I'm going there to meet with her." Do you know even the Guru has to pray? Do you know even the Guru has to perform meditation? Do you know even your Pandit has to pray too? Do you not only in your yard there is a Jandi, but in his yard there is a Jandi too? Not as an ornament, but symbolic of devotion, symbolic of bhakti. Just like you have murtis in your home, the Gurus, they have murtis in their homes too. And just as you light your diya every day, the Gurus light their diya every day. And just as you do the Havan, they do the Havan too, every day. The Guru says, I'm going to this Parvat Vasini where the Devi lives, where she dwells. I'm going to that place. And Indradev, hearing this, Indradev say, well, I want to come too. I want to come too. I'm coming with you. How much times you have begged some person to go with you to Yagna, to Puja? What are the excuses you'll get? How much excuse you'll get? The minute you hear Puja, your head start to hurt, and your knee gone out of place, and you start to cough, you get COVID conveniently. Huh? And all sorts of excuses you have not to pray. Eh? You tell the same people, I go in on the beach. Clothes is not a problem, you know. They never say, well, I can't go because me have clothes. You know what they say? I'll go for a ride. I'll go for a ride. Nobody thinking about food. On the way, we go find something to eat. True or not? Is that true or not? When we going, we go stop somewhere and we go buy something on the road. You ever hear that before? And we go stop in the gas station and we fill up the gas one time. Eh? But you hear press, the car don't have no gas. You coming to the Yagna and you know what? You don't have to buy or find food nowhere on the road, because you know why? Where there is bhajan, you'll find bhojan. Where there is bhajan, you'll find bhojan. you'll find food. I said that our food is not called bhog only, it is called tukari. Because our culture is that we don't only cook enough to eat, but we cook enough so you could curry. Tukari is not Hindi. Tukari is not Sanskrit. Nowhere in India anybody says anything about tukari. Because tukari is two English words. To curry. We cook enough to eat and to mango tukari. Everything tukari. Roti tukari too. Everything tukari. In India they say sabji, they say bhat, they say bhaji. They refer to everything as bhaji. When we think about bhaji, we think about that thing that you all cook for lunch. Karmi and chorai and dashin bush. We think about that in Trinidad. Indradev says, I want to accompany you, Guru. And so the Guru was happy he will get a company. But as they started to walk, as they started to make it, and listen to how they have to go. Well, I tell you, if you have a car and you have all those excuses not to reach the Yagna and the places of worship, then imagine you had to walk. What will happen? You'll never go, isn't it? You'll never reach. Long ago, the sadhu will sit on his bicycle and ride the bike and go to the Yagna. You all know that? Huh? When there is the Bhagavad, you will start to walk. So if you didn't reach the morning session, you'll be there for the evening session. And after the evening session done, you tell the Baba, read and finish a little earlier. We had to put it back. And they say, how you come? It wasn't Volvo and Opel and Prado and, you know what it was? P2. You ever hear about P2 before? It was their legs, their foot, they depended on. And they walked miles upon miles to go and perform devotion. You have a car that you could drive. You and Nona, when the day start, I don't know, I just have so much thing to do. And you know what? When you're dead, the kitchen remaining right here. When you're dead, the husband remaining right here. And you know what? He getting a next wife. You didn't know that? Actually, you're living and he doesn't find a next one. So you prioritize everything and everybody but what you're supposed to. And then in the end, you end up a loser. You end up a loser while you're alive, and you end up a loser. Your soul is tormented because you have never made any preparations for your atma, your soul, when you die. And while it sounds like a joke, it is a fact. It is the truth. The truth always sounds funny. The truth always sounds offensive. The truth always sounds like something like a needle in your ears. But you know what? The truth will always remain the truth. Isn't it? And so, as they begin to walk, what will happen? Something happens. Listen. Sri Paramatmani Nama Om Em Him Krim Chamundaye Viche Nama Indrani Guru Sat Ka Jante Ka Tekor Japat Ka Naam Smaran Hote Karne Wale Tekor Guru Chup Chat Karne Wale Tekor Samay Ka Jap Karne Omkaram Baba Omkaram Baba Omkaram Baba Om Namo Baba
Omkaram Baba Omkaram Baba Omkaram Baba Om Namo Baba
Omkaram Baba Omkaram Baba Omkaram Baba Om Namo Baba Guru Maharaj, Guru Jai Jai.
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 Sai Nath Satguru Jai Jai.
Sai Nath Satguru Jai Jai.
As they started to walk, every footstep the Guru made, the Guru started to chant and he started to think about Devi Mata. But Indradev, hearing the chanting, Indradev has an option. The option is, I can chant too, or I can do something else. I can chant too, or I can do something else. There is always an option. There is always a choice. There is always the ability to choose. What do we choose? What choices do we make? Scripture has declared that you're free to choose, but you're never free from the consequences of the choices that you make. So when you choose, do not choose that which will make you happy temporarily. Choose that which will make you happy infinitely. Choose that which will add value to your life, not today and tomorrow, but eternally, until that time comes when you'll not be here. The Guru begins to chant. This evening when you were coming here, while in the car, what were you talking about? What was happening? What was the conversation in the car? I want to sit down in front of a fan, it's hot. Last night when I sit down, it was real hot. And I walk with it off. I will spray some by me, and I see some, I will spray it on my foot, and I will spray some on your head because it was buzzing around your head too. And what was the conversation in the car? How much of you, we knew that we were coming to Yagna. We knew that we were coming to listen to the glories of Devi. But this is Gyan Yagna. Tomorrow, we'll be listening to the glories of Ram Charitramanas. Maybe Lord Hanuman or maybe Shri Ram. But what were you talking about when you came, when you were coming in the car? Let me loose this zipper. When I reach, I go zip it up because I can't breathe. Huh? What were you saying? Oh God, this thing took in me. I don't know. Anytime I turn it, took in me. What were you talking about? You were saying to your husband, see boy, I feel you pin my skin instead of the orni. Huh? What were you talking about when you were coming this evening? What were your conversations? And how much of your conversation pertained to Bhagwan, to God? Did anything you have to say pertain to God, to Bhagwan? I want to teach you a lesson this evening. From the time you get into your car and you sit in that driver's seat, Om Sri Ganeshaya Namaha, Om Namah Shivaya, chant some mantra. That's why the Pandits advise you to put a little murti in the car, They allow you to put that murti on your dashboard or somewhere. Do you know why? So that from the time you sit there, you think of. And if you don't want to put a murti, they say put a mala. When you see a mala, what do you think about? When you see a mala, what do you think about? What would you think about when you see a mala? God and worship, isn't it? And then if your mind strays, they tell you put a Rudraksha mala. When you see a Rudraksha mala, who does it remind you of? Who does it remind you of? Immediately your mind goes to Lord Shiva, isn't it? Well, like in my car, they think that my mind will stray. They put all different kind of mala. All different kinds. So that you remember, from the time you sit there, you must think of Bhagwan. Allow Him to be the driver. You are not the driver. Allow Him to be the driver. Allow Him to guide. And so, the Guru chanting and chanting and chanting, Indradev remained quiet. But do you know why Indra remained quiet? Listen to why Indra remained quiet. Why do you think he remained quiet? Why are you quiet now, Dave? Why are you quiet now? You know what Dave said? He said, because I am not giving him a chance to talk. Indradev remains quiet. Have you ever heard about people who are quiet before? There is some kind of description that is given about people who are quiet. Have you ever heard? They say never trust the quiet. You ever hear that before? Well, I think you could trust me because I read loud. You tell me a jokey secret and I'll tell everybody. You tell me a serious secret and I'll never tell anybody. Never. But anything that is hilarious and I will tell. I'm admitting. Anything that is foolish, insignificant, I will tell. But then what I consider to be foolish, you consider to be. Indradev remained quiet. And you know why? Listen. Indra Guru Kaha साथ हरि की जप तपने कर इंद्र हरि की गुरु का चलता देवन नामा जपत करत हरि उधारा जय देवी माता मैया जय देवी माता जय देवी माता मैया जय देवी माता बोलो
जय देवी माता मैया जय देवी माता जय देवी माता मैया जय देवी माता
वायु जन कहा पन कहरी की रहित देवी मगन हरि की देवी जानते तीरथ देवी रही इसलिए उसने स्वर्ग देहियो जय देवी माता मैया जय देवी माता जय देवी माता मैया जय देवी माता
जय देवी माता मैया जय देवी माता जय देवी माता मैया जय देवी माता
The Guru was praying and Indradev was busy thinking. And so his mind was so busy that Indradev, he was planning something in his mind that it prevented him from chanting and enjoying the journey. Do you know we take our children for a ride? Long ago when you were taking children for a ride, all children will fight for the window. True or not? True or not? When you were a child, would you not fight for the window? The first time you ever went on an aircraft, you want the window seat, isn't it? Because you want to see outside. True or not? Is that true or not? Does that matter to you now? No, you know what you want? You want an aisle seat so you could go to the toilet easy. That's what you want. Because now you're interested. You stop wanting to see what is outside and now you're thinking, when they're doing the instructions, they say to you, observe the closest exit might be behind you. So don't get frantic. All you're thinking about is how close the toilet is to you. Especially if it is a long flight because you want to be comfortable, isn't it? Long ago, the children will fight for the window and they will not lean back, They will all hold on to the handle of the door and they will be watching outside. And the unfortunate child that did not get a chance to sit by a window will sit between the two seats and hold on to the two seats like this and his head between the driver and the front passenger. True or not? Now, your children on their cell phone, they know if the car have a door, it ain't have a door. They know where you're going, if you reach, if you're coming, if you reach. They don't know nothing. Nothing, absolutely nothing. You take them to the same place every single day. And if they have to describe where they went, they don't know. They have no clue where they went. In the car, everybody will have conversations and you'll put on the radio and everybody will sing and dance. And I don't know about you, I still do that, They look at me in the car and they say, something wrong with you? I say, yeah, Persad. That's what's wrong with me. What is wrong with me is that I am here now and I don't know if I'll be here anytime after now. So let me clap and sing now. Let me enjoy the moment. And whether who is in the car, I really don't care. I clap and I sing and I dance and I do all kind of motion. You swear I'm from Shiv Shakti. Because I have come to the realization that the only person that could help me to enjoy life is, the only person that could help me to enjoy existence is me. And the only person that could make you happy is you. Always remember that. And if you depend on happiness from some external force, then you'll be disappointed. You'll always be disappointed. When you love some person, they don't have to follow everything that you do. You have to love everything they do. True or not? Is that true or not? Well, that's the world that we live in now, Long ago, you could have tell your children and discipline them. No, anything they do, good, bad, indifferent, you have to love it. Because the minute you tell them, you know what happened, they put you under the bed. Everything has turned. Everything has changed. Indradev was busy thinking. And so Indradev was planning in his mind. You know what he's planning? Guru Brihaspati is chanting because he's going for darshan. And Indradev is planning what I will ask the day before when I reach there. Ever take the little child in a toy store and you say, take anything that you want, but for $20. Huh? I have never won anything in my life. I'm talking about raffles and that kind of thing. And one day in school, they called my name and I jumped up in my mind. I said, oh my God, did I win something? And then when I got up on the stage, they said, you just won a round trip. And in my mind, I said, trip? And they say, you could choose your destination anywhere you want to go. And I said, anywhere? And I say, yeah, with a brown band maxi. You could choose to go anywhere you want with a brown band maxi. That's the prize. Indradev is planning in his mind what I will ask the day before. What I will. It's not about what he could give. It's not about what he could do. It's about what he could. We live in a world, we live in a time, we live in a society where people think about what we could, not what we could. We have the opportunity to give. Swami told one of his uncles, we're looking for a little charity. You know, we're building the temple. Can you help? And the uncle didn't hear him. Well, it appeared so. So he said, I'm looking for a little donation. When you give, you just get. He said, boy, I never teach you nothing. He said, what do you mean? He said, you don't give to get, you just keep to have. Why will you give to get when you could keep and have? But do you know there are many people who think like that? Though they have, they will sit down and cry and cry. And they wouldn't buy dinner mint to quench their own throat. You know that? And they sit down and cry, and anything they say, give me a little peace now. And when you're dead, you know what happened? Money to son and bun. Somebody else who non-deserving, get everything, and you know what happened? They don't know the value. They don't know how hard you work. They don't know the sacrifice that you made. They don't know anything about it. So how can they enjoy your hard work? And that's where the proverb comes. Easy come. No, we say that wrong. You're accustomed to saying that, but you say it wrong. Easy come, easier go. Not just easy, easier. When you don't know the worth and the value of something, you'll never enjoy it. It just becomes another thing. But anything you have to work for, you enjoy it. True or not? So, Indradev, planning in his mind, the Devi knows that they are coming. What the Devi will do? Listen, the Devi knows that they are coming. The Devi knew all of us we were coming here this evening. The Devi knew where you will sit. The Devi knew what color clothes you'll wear. The Devi knew everything. Before you even planned that in your mind, you didn't come here because you wanted to come. You came here because the Devi said to you, you have to come. Right, Mohan? The Devi said that. And so, what will happen? Listen, it tells us. Jagadishwari daya karuma, Mateshwari kripa karuma. जगदीश्वरी दया करो माँ मातेश्वरी कृपा करो माँ
जगदीश्वरी दया करो माँ मातेश्वरी कृपा करो माँ
ओम देवे जानते का तीर रहते का इसने का उसके का सकते करने हैं, जो जन का भाने करने वाले उसके का भूरे का रूप जिसने का रूप धारण किया होते। देखो आसन बेटे का, देखो द्वार पार का विनती करने वाले, देखो गुरु का आशीर्वाद देने प्रणाम होते। दर्शन लीजिए इसने का इंद्रदेव का घस्त होते करने, घस्त होते करने। जगदीश्वरी दया करो माँ, मातेश्वरी कृपा करो माँ। The Devi took the form of an old lady, wearing old clothing. And so the Devi sat, she sat at the door, the gate, the entrance. And so sitting there on the floor, appearing to be like a beggar, the Devi sat there. But as Guru Brihaspati entered and Guru Brihaspati saw the old lady, you know what he did? Done what, Karo? Done what? He bowed to the old lady. And as he bowed to the old lady, Indra Indra started to laugh loudly. You ever in the company of somebody and you're afraid to bow? You ever in the company of somebody and you're afraid to touch the Persad to your forehead because you're conscious, you're worrying about what they will say about you? Ever in the company of, ever had on your nice Indian wear and you have to run in the grocery to pick up something and you say, watch where I wear and me going there now? True enough. Is that true or not? Well, I go in Price Mart, I go in Pennywise, I go in grocery, I go in Persad, plenty for 20, I go in anywhere with my dhoti. Because this is a part of who I am. This is me. This is my identification. This is a part of my culture. This is a part of my tradition. And this I love. And if you don't love it and you have no appreciation, that's up to you. That's totally up to you. But I wear it with pride. I wear it with pride because it is a part of who I am. It is me. Strange, huh? Indian arrival day. The day before the holiday, everybody, Indian and non-Indian, will put on the Indian wear and go to work. True or not? And you're comfortable, you'll walk all over. Huh? Isn't it? Then how is it comfortable then? Because you see, you're following the masses and you're ending up like a foolish person. You're ending up foolish. Because anything the mass is doing, you think that I should do that too. Because, you know, I will fit in. You don't always have to fit in. Be the best version of yourself. Be the best you that you could be. You don't have to fit into anything. I almost did not fit into this kurta tonight. You don't have to fit in all the time. It is okay not to fit in. It is okay to be the black sheep sometime. You know that? It is okay. That is what helps you to be strong. That is what brings out your potency. That is what shows your ambition. That is what helps you to achieve, to acquire. That's what helps you to remind yourself that I can make a difference. Because easy come. But if you work for it, you'll enjoy it. The Devi has Guru Brihaspati bowed to the feet of the old lady. Indra started to laugh. Somebody ever laugh at you? Huh? You ever put on your jersey wrong side? And your pants wrong side? You ever put on two left slippers before? You ever went to work with your bedroom slippers before? Huh? You ever put on a dress with a hole? It is so easy for somebody to look at you and laugh at you because of this, isn't it? Indradev started to laugh, and as Indradev started to laugh, he ignored the old lady and he entered. And so he is going. And as Indradev begins to walk, what will happen? Listen. Guru Brihaspati has slowed down. And slowing down, Indra is confused. We are so close now. Why are you slowing down? We should walk a little faster. We are almost there. And so Indra is confused. What will happen? Listen. Jagadishwari daya karo maa, Mateshwari kripa karo maa.
Jagadishwari daya karo maa, Mateshwari kripa karo maa.
Jagadishwari daya karo maa, Mateshwari kripa karo maa. Jai Ambe Kali Maa,
Jai Ambe Kali Maa,
Jai Ambe Shakti Maa,
Jai Ambe Shakti Maa,
Jai Ambe Durga Maa,
Jai Ambe Durga Maa,
Jai Ambe Devi Maa, Jagadishwari daya karo maa, Mateshwari kripa karo maa.
Jagadishwari daya karo maa, Mateshwari kripa karo maa.
श्री परमात्मा ने नवा इंद्र का कभी उत्तरा का नहीं देखते करने वाले चलते का गुरु चोटिया ही, जिसमें का धीरे धीरत धीरत का गुरु बृहस्पति का लेने वाले, देखो उनको का घर गुरु बृहस्पति का घर हो गया करने Guru Brihaspati, after walking a little distance with Indra, he says, Indra, I don't think that I want to go up on the mountain top. I don't think that I want to go there anymore. And Indradev says, why? We are almost there. We'll meet with the Devi. And so let us go. Go with me. And the Guru says, no, you go. You go by yourself. And I will make my way back to my home, my abode, and you go. Indra says to the Guru, so you want me to tell the Devi anything for you? Have you ever heard somebody going to the temple or the mosque or the church and you say, when you go pray for me, have you ever said that to them? Have you ever heard of somebody going and they say, you say, well, you'll put this in the arti for me, put this in the offering. Make sure and give this offering on my behalf. Have you ever done that before? Indradev continues to walk now, and Guru Brihaspati, dhire, slowly, he's making his way back. And as Indradev reached up on the Parvat Vasini, the mountain top, can you imagine he has to climb up a mountain? Can you imagine? What will that be? Members of the Ganesh Utsav Foundation, I'll plan a day especially for you to take a walk with me up San Fernando Hill. We'll all go. But you're not going to walk one time, 5 times up and down San Fernando Hill. Why are you all lifting your eyebrow like that? Imagine Indradev is walking up a mountain, you walking up a hill. That's San Fernando Hill, not San Fernando Mountain. Why are you lifting up your eyebrow like that? And so making his way up, when he goes there is no Devi, and the place is vacant, it is empty. And Indradev sits there and he's waiting, and he's patient. How long can you be patient for? How long can you be patient for? Even a patient, somebody who is sick, who is supposed to have patience and lie down and get well, lie down on that bed and only say, I want to go home, I want to go home, I want to go home. True or not? Even the patient don't have patience. True or not? Is that true or not? How patient are you? How tolerant are you? Do you know there are some people in their home, they have a dog, right? The dog will bark and make all kind of mischief and rip up all kind of thing, and the husband will go and clean it up. Easy, quiet. He will never say it. Actually, Swami and I today, my aunt, we had puja by Auntie Shanti in St. Margaret's. And I looked at the dog, and I said, the dog came straight to me, a big Doberman. And as the dog came to me, I said, Auntie Shanti, what the dog name? And the son said, let me tell you now, the dog name, go in the back. That's what the dog name, go in the back. And I said, what do you mean? He said, well, that's all she's tell the dog. Anytime she see the dog, go in the back. So the dog name, go in the back. The husband of the home will tolerate the dog. But if the wife only open her mouth and say one thing, you know what happened? What will happen? Now you like the dog, but you don't like your wife. Strange. You could tolerate anything from the dog, but you can't tolerate your wife. Strange, huh? Strange. And that's in many homes. And that's in many families. Across the board. It has nothing to do with religion. It has to do with tolerance. And then they say, Baba, you don't know now how much trouble I did see. And I say, well, me I want to know now. I say, because when you did falling in love, I wasn't there. And you see now you have your trouble, that's what you choose. So you know what? Narayan, Narayan. I didn't do the course in sorting out husband and wife. I do the course in sorting out my own business. I'm not getting involved. Indradev sits there and Indradev appears to be patient, Do you know there's some people when they go out and they put on their performance, you know, even the people who are living in their house shocked and can't believe. They say, how you get that man to wipe leaf and wash wares and that man living home and that man don't even move a cup. But the performance is so good. Husband and wife don't talk to each other in the house, you know. When they go, come sugar, let me get food for you. And he holding a hand, come cutie, walk with me. Huh? And you say, oh God, them in love. I want, when I get married, I want to be just like that. And God say, you're sure you're praying the right prayers? Huh? You say, look at them, they're the ideal couple. They wearing matching clothes and matching shoes, and they go by the dentist and get matching bracelets. They matching. I wish that my marriage could be like that. Don't wish nothing, you know. Don't wish that at all, because when you see it have turbulence and fight and war, you don't know, you know. You seen powder and lipstick and smile, and that's what you seeing. You're not seeing the Mahabharata that goes behind that. And that is not unique to any one family. That is every family. That's every family. It says Indradev sat there and he appeared to be patient. But appearing to be patient, what will happen? His patience ran thin. And so becoming now very impatient, he decided to make his way down. And making his way down, he met the same being, the old lady that he met when he was going up. But now he's about to talk to the old lady. He ignored her in the first instance. Now he's about to talk to her. You ever try to ignore somebody and then you have to ask that same person for help? Huh? Have you ever done that before? Hello? You ever ignore somebody and then you have to ask them for help? How comfortable is that? How comfortable that becomes. And so Indradev, what will happen? He meets the old lady and something happens. Indradev looks at her and with disgust and with anger in his voice, Indradev is speaking to the old lady. He's talking to her. What will he tell her? When you're angry, and when you're disgusted, and when you're frustrated, how you talk? How do you speak when you are angry and frustrated and flustered? How do you speak? Hello, Mama? How you talk when you get angry? Mama, you afraid to answer? Mama, you don't get vexed? You just get vexed? Mama, talk the truth. You're in front of Murti. Devi hearing you. Mama, you just get vexed? How you talk when you get vexed? Mama had puja this morning, very early. And at the table when I was having breakfast there, Papa was telling me how Mama, when she gets mad, how she speaks. And he was talking about an instance that she buffed him up, and it pertained to the expo. You remember telling me that, Papa? Mama, how you talk when you get vexed? To Papa? Lovingly like me? With sugar in your voice, Mama? Or you talk vex? Buff up. Huh? Mama, you afraid to answer? Indradev spoke with anger and arrogance and ignorance. Where there is arrogance, there will always be ignorance. Because your mind will be clouded. Sometimes we live in a society, we live in a world where people, they're so blinded by the lies that they tell about themselves that they have to tell all kind of lies to seem to be important. And after telling all of those lies, they begin to believe it too. Importance is not something that is given to you. Importance is something that is earned. True or not? Respect is not something that is given to you. Respect is something that has to be earned. I will walk around every night and I will go and squeeze everybody's shoulder. And you want something to carry? You're good? You want something to drink? And I will go to everybody, every possible person. I'll never eat a single thing. Not a single thing. But the intention is to make sure that you are happy. The intention is to make sure that when you go home, you are comfortable. You don't have to get up in the morning to toast no bread. You have roti to put in the microwave. The intention is to make sure that you are comfortable and you are happy. Because you didn't come by guest. You came because you are the guest. Atiti Devo Bhava. You're God coming to the Yagna. And you want to be treated like that. And I can't recognize God in the Murti if I did not recognize God in you. I can't worship and feed the Murti when I have not fed you. And so Indradev, out of anger he speaks. And listen to what he says. Indradev is angry. He is speaking out of anger. Bore bhore sunata hare ki dekar mur kaha betan ki mur kaha chup chao de kaha bete asan bin tahare kaha jaise jai devi mata maiya jai devi mata Jai Devi Mata Maya Jai Devi Mata. Indradev looks at the old lady and he says, "Oh Murk, oh fool, oh dull-witted being, oh being of no intelligence. Couldn't you have said to me that the Devi is not up there? You made me waste my time to walk up that whole hill and you could have informed me. You sat here, chup, remaining very quiet. As though you're dumb, you can't speak." Listen to how he's talking to the Devi. Have you ever spoken to the Devi like that? Have you ever spoken to the Devi like that? Anil, have you ever spoken to the Devi like that? But you're in real trouble, you know. You know how? You have 4 Devi living in your house. 3 daughters and actually 5 and your mother. When I say talk to the Devi like that, I'm not telling you about the Murti, you know. I'm talking to you about the way you speak to your wife, and the way you speak to your mother, and the way you speak to your children, your daughters especially. You look at the mother and you say, "Why you don't hush your mouth?" Well, I can't tell my mother that. I know that for sure. I am a man when my mother is not there. I am a child in the presence of my mother. My mother will never see me as a man. She sees me as a child. Because that is what we are to our parents. But we owe a depth of respect. Not only gratitude, but a depth of respect to our parents. Do you know that? Whether how they are and whether what they do doesn't define or change the fact that they are parents. And so, the Devi looked at Lord Indra and you could imagine, you tell Cindy, you're foolish. And you sit down like you, down. And Cindy raised up, she two eyebrow Dave. What you'll do? Start to sweat, eh? Because you know why? You know what you'll get in return? What you'll get? She said, come, let me show you who dumb, eh? Isn't it? Come, let me tell you. The Devi, her eyes became red out of anger. And as she turned and she gazed at Indra, Indra recognized that this was no ordinary old lady. Your mothers, they're no ordinary old lady, you know. You know that? What your mother and your father could do, you can't even dream about doing. 4 o'clock when you're now rolling like a wave from maracas in your bed, they don't get up and bathe and offer their dar and night their Gyan. Do half of their chores. When you get up in the morning, your bed ramflop. You go back in the night, it's still ramflop. You shake the sheet anyhow. You lie down on the ramflop. You get up ramflop. You ain't know what happened. Your whole day was ramflop. Your whole life ramflop. Because you never take time to straighten out anything. Have you ever heard, so you make your bed, so you? Have you ever heard that? The first thing about being successful is from the time you get off your bed, make it up. You have clothes hung up everywhere. You swear your bedroom is a Christmas tree. Clothes hung up everywhere. And the one that's in the drawer mixed up with the one that's supposed to be in the basket to wash. And everything smelling the same way like cockroach. You don't know what is what. And then when you have to put it on, you have to spray some Febreze under your arm. Everywhere. Hinduism teaches us cleanliness is next to. COVID taught the world that you must wash your hands. Before we sit to do the puja, since forever and ever, what's the first thing you do? COVID taught that you're supposed to wear a mask and be quiet. Because when you're wearing that mask, you don't want to talk, you know. You know why? Because your mustache pulling up. Not only the men own it, and the lady own too. Uncomfortable, isn't it? So you don't want to talk too much. When puja is happening, what do? You're supposed to remain? COVID taught you to be clean. That cleanliness is of utmost importance. You see, she's sneezing. I don't know if she's sneezing about the mustache part or the cleaning part or which part, but I'm telling you the truth and the whole truth. But you have to be frightened to the point that you think you will die, then to learn how to wash your hands. You have to be frightened to the point of knowing that you will die, to know that when you bring home something in the house, you have to wash it first before you put it away. You have to almost die or be threatened that you will die, then to start observing those things. Strange, huh? The Devi becomes mad. And as she becomes mad, what will happen? It says the Devi, her eyes become bloodshot red. And as her eyes become red, listen, the katha tells us finally. Amba Bhavani Jagat Amba Bhavani.
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 Amba Bhavani Jagat Ambe Ma.
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 दूसरे का बेटे का भूरिया करने वाली, देखो इंद्र की क्रोध का करनी, जिसमें का मूर्ख का बाप बनार हो दिया करनी, अपने का नहीं कही देवी उपस्थित करने वाली, देखो देवी का दर्शन लीजिए, सभी का माता शक्ति का स्वभाव करने वाले, गुरु बृहस्पति का रक्षा करने। The Devi's eyes become red. She begins to roar out of anger. And looking at Indradev becomes frightened. And so Indradev begins to call. And who do you think he's calling? Guru Brihaspati. He's calling the Guru. That's why, when you have trouble, the first person come to mind is who? Baba, check and see now. Open up the book. Thing ain't going good, I feel I have a gra. Thank God you have a gra. You remember it have a Baba. Because if you didn't have a gra, you forget it have a Baba. And if you didn't have a gra, you forget you have to pray. And if you didn't have a gra, you forget that you have a duty to put up a jhandi in your yard. And if you didn't have a gra, then you will forget that you have to light a little diya and do a little offering. Huh? You live your whole life and you say, Baba, I can't have a prayers, I want to have a prayers, but I wait until the house done build. And the house is good, we ain't tiled up the ground and thing yet. But when the house livable, we go invite you to come. And you know what happened? You're dead like a nit. And they invite everybody and they're making cheese paste and having a good time and put up a pot in the yard and they're boiling corn soup. And big wake and 13 nights are Ramayana, they're singing, they're over glad you're done dead. And while you're living, you can't invite nobody in your house because it's old and it is sanitary. And when you come, Baba, go feel shame. Huh? That's true, no? Isn't that true? You are alive and the children can't invite nobody one day to sing Ramayana. But when you're dead, 13 nights of Ramayana. Who could sing, who could dance, who could come in to sing for you? Everybody coming. Entertainment galore. And while you're alive, Baba, you can't come, the place ain't good. I want to tell you something. Whether how your home is your sanctuary. Whether what your conditions are your conditions. Nobody should judge you based on your conditions. Nobody. You are not the house that you live in. You are not the car that you drive. You are not the money that you have in the bank account. You are none of those things. You are a human being. You are a human being and you're only here for a few days. Enjoy your existence to the maximum. So that when the end comes, you have enjoyed. Don't sit down and cry about tile. Don't sit down and cry about how the house looking. Don't sit down and cry. Because they'll have a big funeral and all the people you didn't want to see, they come in just to see. They come in to just see. You know how much people come because they want to see? I just want to see. That is all. They ain't coming because you're dead, They come in to make sure you're dead and to see how your house is, and that's what they're coming to see. Do you know how much of us we have neighbors and we have never been invited to our neighbor's home? And the minute they're dead, you're afraid to go because you never go when they live in, so you're afraid to go when they're dead. Isn't it? Well, not my neighbor. My neighbors who live next door to me, well, I don't know if they're fed up with me or if they will ever get fed up with me, but I don't give them a chance to miss me. I call them out in the night when I go home. I say, look, I bring Persad. They say, well, put it in the fridge. I say, come and get it now. Put it in your fridge. I don't need a single thing. I say, lend me some salt. Me ain't cooking nothing. I'm making conversation. You have cucumber? A few days ago, Sharon and they came and I said to them, I am hungry. Let us eat cricks and cheese before we go to the Yagna. And they say, cricks and cheese? Well, okay, you eat. We brush with it already. I say, well, good for you. I go in the fridge and I say, oh God, we have a problem. And they say, what's the problem? I say, we have cricks, but we don't have no cheese. What we will do? And they say, well, what will you do? I take up the phone and I call the neighbor. I say, you have cheese? I could borrow a piece. The neighbor sent a whole block of cheese. And as the neighbor sent the block of cheese, I cut up cheese. And all who brush their teeth already, I make sure they eat first. And then I eat. And then I cut half of the remaining cheese. And I wrap it up in a foil and I put it in my fridge. And the next half, I send it back for the neighbor. And when I send it back for the neighbor, I could hear the neighbor from inside upstairs saying, so where you bring back this little piece of cheese for? But you know what? It doesn't mean that the next time I go and I say I want a piece of cheese, they will not give me. Because the day they need something, I open my door and I don't say, look, I am giving you. I say, you come and take what you want. And that is how you're supposed to live. Because your neighbors are supposed to be your best friends. For the minute that you have trouble, the neighbor is the first one. You're supposed to live in such a way with your neighbors that they're your friend, because neighbors are like your family. Do you know that? They're like your family, but they're supposed to be like your family, eh? Because you have neighbor and neighbors too. Eh? I have a neighbors too. But that doesn't define who I am. And so the divine goddess, becoming mad, Indradev, recognizing this and trembling, Indradev begins to call the Guru Brihaspati. Guru Brihaspati was walking how? Dhire, dhire. Now he turn around and you have to come back and he walking dhire, dhire. Anything you're waiting on, you might not get it right away. Do you know that? You will not get it right away. But slowly, Prabhi Sinagar ki jay sabak aja, hide hiraki ko sar pura raja. Put God first and walk behind, and it might be slow, you know, but it is. It might be slow, but it is. Because easy come. You carry a bucket of water and you enjoy every drop of it, you know. You know that? Somebody else carry the water and you throw the whole bucket one time. Isn't it? And so, the Guru Brihaspati comes, and as Guru Brihaspati stands there, Guru Brihaspati puts his hands together, and Guru Brihaspati begins to eulogize the divine goddess. What is he saying to her? ऋषि माकंडे कह पूजा पूजन देकर ब्रह्म विदाता देकर भगवती रूप धारा देकर शक्ति की हिनकारा देकी देकर मंत्रन जैसे सब कह भक्ति ही कर जैसे ओम हेम हेम क्रीम चामुंडाय विचे नमः हर का एक जोरी सकता दे कर उपता दे जिसने अपने पैर पारा पवित्र कवच दुर्ग विलासा जो कह दे कर काम पुराई सर्व शक्ति बिनत हमाई सुनो माँ कंडे का ऋषि नव दुर्गा का शक्ति न देगी कवच दे कर सुंदरी भारा जो ही अनंत भक्ति दाता हेम हेम क्रीम चामुंडाय विचे नमः. The Guru says to Indradev, he says, bow to the feet of the Devi. And so, O Indradev, put your hand together and pray to her and beg for Chama. Tonight, let us all put our hands together. And as the Guru has given the instructions to pray, tonight, ask the Devi for whatever your desires are. Pray to her. There has never been a time that we have prayed to her and she has not blessed us. There will never be a time that you will pray to her and she will not listen to your prayer. Oh Devi, listen. Her eyes are bloodshot red, and so as though fire is coming out of her mouth. And so, as Guru Brihaspati begins to pray, he eulogizes the Devi by singing her praises. अग्नि से अग्नि कह देवी देकर पूर्वक दक्षिण देही दक्षिणा देकर वाकर माता नित्य करण कह भाग्य विदाता देकर देवी देवी सुनीश्वरी भगवती देकर शक्ति न देही चंड मुंड नाश नहारा कष्ट तुमिरो संसार पारा रक्षा कर कहा देही माई सुमिरो देकर इनति हमारी आदि देविका भगवती माता देकर धारी भाग्य विदाता हेम हेम क्रीम चामुंडाय विचे नमः काली रूप काली न देकी देकर शक्ति दिन कह देकी शत्रुनाश के जय महारानी तुमिरो एक चित तुम ही भवानी सरस्वती कह रूप माता देकर सती चंडिका दाता चित्रगंध कह दे कह माई कामाक्षी कह दूर हदाई मंगल देही मंगल दाता मंगल बिन कह भाग्य विदाता सर्व मंगल मांगल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थ साधिके शरण्ये त्र्यंबके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते धूनो भूजा देक माता बिन कह देकर भगवती दाता हे हरि वाहन सोहि भवानी रंगुर वीर चलत अभिमानी देकर कपर रक्षा होई विघ्न विनाशन मातन होई सब कह देकर मधु के तब मधु के तब सब का होई देकर पूर्वक जननी रोई ओम जयंती काली मंगला काली भद्रकाली कपालिनी दुर्गा क्षमा शिवा दात्री स्वाहा सदा नमोस्तुते विद्यसे महादेवी सरस्वती सुरूरः का मूल हरे की ते कर दुष्ट रक्षा माता त्रिशूल धारिणी भैरव दाता रक्षा करे माता हमेशा रक्षा करे का भगवती माता यात्र धी कर दुख पाई ते कर कवच अभिनतन पाई जग जननी माता कह पाई पाप नाश नन रे न पाई हेम हेम क्रीम चामुंडाय विचे नमः हेम हेम क्रीम चामुंडाय विचे नमः दुम 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 दुर्गा दुम 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 दुर्गा Begins to eulogize the divine goddess, and Indradev uses this time to run away. And Guru Brihaspati begins to beg on behalf of Indradev. It is the duty of the Guru to beg on your behalf. Do you know that? When you have sickness and when you have trouble, it is not for you, Your Guru shares in that. Do you know that? And when there is celebration, the Guru is supposed to share in that too. Do you know that? The Guru is not only the person who christened you, Your Guru is your spiritual guide. The person who guides you. That's your Guru. Who guides you onto the pathway of spirituality. Reminding you that life is more than all of this. While we make preparations to enjoy this, we must make some kind of preparation for. They say you only live once. Have you ever heard that before? You only live one life to live. You only live once. Huh? Have you ever heard that before? That's not true, That's not true. You only die once. You live every day. You're alive every day. And it's an opportunity for you to enjoy existence. We become fanatics of minding everybody else's business, and we've forgotten how to live and to enjoy our own existence. Don't depend on anybody to make you happy. Make yourself happy by your. Lift yourself by your. Lord Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita. He says, lift yourself by yourself. Help yourself. And wherever there is a will, there will always be a way. The Guru begs Suchama, and Indra runs away. And as Indra runs away, clearly the Devi is not a Trinidadian. You know why? She's not holding Indra in mind. She accepts the apology from the Guru on Indra's behalf. We don't know how to accept an apology, You know that? Do you know that? You vex with somebody for some foolish, petty, insignificant thing that happened 20 years ago. And that person must have apologized to you 1,000,000 times in 20 years. And you still vex. If God was like you, what will happen? Because how much times you said to God, I am sorry. How much times you said to God, forgive me? How much times? And what if God said, just the way you are saying that you can't forgive some petty, foolish thing, God said, I'm not forgiving you. Take trouble. Take trouble. Take trouble. What will life be like? If God could forgive us millions and thousands of times, why can't you forgive? Why can't you forget? Why do you have to live in the past all the time? Why can't you forge forward? You could take the horse to the well, but you can't force the horse to. I used to be very concerned, and now I'm concerned about me. I'm concerned about being the best version of me that I could be. And if you are willing, I am willing. And if you are not willing, well, God's willing. What else can I say? As Panditji performs the Havan this evening, let us all sing to the Devi. Then I talk to the Devi, tell her. Jagdo Dharini Mata Durga, Jagdo Dharini Mata, Jagdo Dharini Mata Durga, Jagdo Dharini Mata. Jago Jago Ma, Jago Jago Ma, Jago Jago Ma Janani, Jago Jago Ma, Jago Jago Ma, Jago Jago Ma Janani, Jagdo Dharini Mata Durga, Jagdo Dharini Mata, Jagdo Dharini Mata Durga, Jagdo Dharini Mata. Jagdo Dharini Mata Durga, Jagdo Dharini Mata, Jagdo Dharini Mata Durga, Jagdo Dharini Mata. Jago Jago Ma, Jago Jago Ma, Jago Jago Ma Janani, Jago Jago Ma, Jago Jago Ma, Jago Jago Ma Janani, Jagdo Dharini Mata Durga, Jagdo Dharini Mata. Durga Bhavani Ma, Jai Jai Ambe Ma.
Durga Bhavani Ma, Jai Jai Ambe Ma.
O Durga Bhavani Ma, Jai Jai Ambe Ma.
Durga Bhavani Ma, Jai Jai Ambe Ma.
Tonight when we sing, let us pray. Let us think about some being who might be sick. Tonight, let us lift up one of the members of our group, Uncle Harry, and we pray to the Divine Goddess, Devi Mata, may you bring health. May you bring a result. We beg of you, O Devi, O Mother Goddess, listen to our prayer. Tonight we remember Sri Krishna Ramlogan. Let us pray for him. Let us ask the Devi to bless him. Tonight we pray for those who are listening to us in our hospitals and our health institutions. We pray that the Divine Goddess will bless you. Tonight we pray that may Bhagwan bless Shobha and Renon and members of their family as they're coping with the loss of their little grandchild, only 4 months old. We pray, O Devi, listen to our prayer. Give comfort where comfort is needed. Bring strength where there is weakness. Provide food where there is hunger and thirst. We beg of you, O Devi Mata, provide clothing where there is nakedness. Provide a peace of mind where there is turbulence. We beg of you, O Ma, listen to our prayer. Listen to our prayer, O Devi Ma. Help us to find solutions where there are problems. O Mother Goddess, we bow to you, Durga Devi. Listen to our prayer. Durga Bhavani Ma, Jaya Jaya Ambe Ma.
Durga Bhavani Ma, Jai Jai Ambe Ma.
Jagadodari Ma, Jaya Jaya Ambe Ma.
Jagadodharini Ma, Jai Jai Ambe Ma.
Kanika Pamini Ma, Jaya Jaya Ambe Ma.
Kalika Palini Ma, Jai Jai Ambe Ma.
Param Shivayini Ma, Jaya Jaya Durga Ma.
Param Shivayini Ma, Jai Jai Durga Ma.
O Durga Bhavani Ma, Jaya Jaya Ambe Ma.
Durga Bhavani Ma, Jai Jai Ambe Ma.
Jagadamba Devi Mata Ki Jai. Before we join in the closing arti this evening, there is a very special young man who is celebrating his birthday this evening. One of the strengths of the group, a father to all members of the Ganesh Utsav Foundation, and even to Dave and Cindy. He's celebrating his birthday. Earlier this morning he had the puja at home, and I said, well, maybe you will listen on the TV to what I have to say about you. And he said, on the TV? Why? And I said, because you know, you might be tired and you will not come tonight. He said, I'm coming and I'm sitting in the front row. Here is he in the front row. Papa, what can I say? How can I say? What should I say? Maybe I should have found a Sanskrit word that no amount of English words will be able to explain how I feel about you and how the members of the group, they feel about you. We stand up and we eulogize people when they're dead. Well, I want to eulogize you tonight. And I want to tell you that you're loved and you're appreciated more than you'll ever know. I want to tell you that you're an example to all of the men folk. This morning in the puja, I said to him, put on this ring for Mama and let Mama put on your ring. And he said, Pandit, you know when we got married with a mango ring. That's the ring. That's the first ring we ever gave each other. Papa, you gave Mama that mango ring with love and you're still enjoying bliss. There are people who give golden ring and that whole marriage end up in suffering, turbulence and distress. But you gave that mango ring with love and Mama made a vow. Until today, Mama is sitting next to you. Till today, she's still your support and your strength and your she's your food, she's your clothes, she's your comfort, she's your buff-up. She behaves like your mother sometimes. I know. Because they are not only the biological parents of their children, but they are parents to all of us in this group. When we see that lady, we think about food. When we see that man, we think about food. We immediately begin to feel hungry because he's a caterer by profession. Papa, I want to pray that may the divine goddess, just as you have worshipped her in your home this morning, may she continue to shine through you. May she ward away sickness and trouble and problems and calamities and distresses. May she help you to become calm and collect. And may she guide you onto that pathway of mukti, salvation. It is my prayer. Mama, may she bless you with some patience and some more tolerance so that you can continue to be the amazing wife that you are. Papa, I don't think they know what I'm talking about, so you'll have to stand up. Stand up. Let's give him a round of applause, everybody.